Quran translation from Ali Ünal. Audio prepared by Respect Graduate School. Surah 21. Al-Anbiya, the Prophets, verse 1. Their reckoning has drawn near for humankind, yet they do not pay heed to it, being lost in worldly things and heedlessness. Verse 2. Whenever a new revelation comes to them from their Lord to warn and enlighten them, they only listen to it in a playful manner. Verse 3. With hearts set on passing pleasures, yet those who lead in wrongdoing, especially by associating partners with God, confer among themselves in great secret. Is this not but a mortal like you? Will you then yield to magic while you see it patently? Verse 4. The messenger says, in response, My Lord knows every word spoken in the heaven and on the earth. He is the all-hearing, the all-knowing. Verse 5. Confused about which source they should attribute the Quran to. They say, No, but Muhammad offers some jumbles of dream images he has. No, but he fabricates all this. No, but he is a poet. If he is true in his claim, then let him come to us with a sign, a miracle, just as the previous messengers were sent with miracles. Verse 6. Not one of the peoples before them that we destroyed believed, even though the messengers came to them with miracles. Will then these believe? Verse 7. We did not send as messengers before you, O Muhammad, any but men to whom we revealed. So, O people, ask those who have special knowledge of the divine revelations, if you do not know. Verse 8. Nor did we make them bodies not needing food, so that they would not eat like others, nor were they immortals. Verse 9. We promised them help and victory, and we kept our promise. We saved them and all whom we willed, and bound ourselves to save the believers. And we destroyed those who wasted their God-given faculties and committed excesses. Verse 10. Now we send down to you, O people of Mecca, and O all humankind, a book which contains what you must heed in life for your honor and happiness. Will you not then use your reason? Verse 11. How many a community that did the greatest wrong by associating partners with God, and thereby wronged itself, have we shattered and raised up another people after them. Verse 12. When they felt our mighty punishment coming, they at once attempted to flee from it. Verse 13. Do not attempt to flee, but return to all that, ease and comfort, in which you had been lost without scruples, and to your homes, that you may be appealed to by the poor and needy, or to take your valuable counsels. Verse 14. They could only cry, Oh, woe to us! We were indeed wrongdoers. Verse 15. That cry of theirs did not cease until we made them like reaped corn and a heap of ashes. Verse 16. We have not created the heavens and the earth, and all that is between them as a play and game for us. Verse 17. If we had willed to find a pastime without creating the heavens and the earth, with all that is in and between them, we would indeed have found it in our presence, if we were going to do so. Verse 18. No, but we hurl the truth against falsehood, and it breaks the ladder's head, and see, it vanishes. So woe to you for all the falsehood you attribute to God. Verse 19. To him belongs whoever is in the heavens and the earth, and those, the angels, who are with him, never disdain to worship him, nor do they ever weary. Verse 20. They glorify him by night and day, proclaiming that he is absolutely exalted above any shortcoming or need of partners or doing pointless things, and never show tiredness and never lose zeal. Verse 21. What, have those polytheists given up hope of heaven and adopted deities from the earth? Do they believe that they, those deities, can raise up the dead? Verse 22. But the fact is that had there been in the heavens and the earth any deities other than God, both of those realms would certainly have fallen into ruin. All glorified God is the Lord of the supreme throne, in that he is absolutely above all that they attribute to him. Verse 23. He cannot be called to account for whatever he does, but their false deities they have adopted from among conscious beings are accountable. Verse 24. What, have they adopted deities other than him? Say, O messenger, if so, present your proof. But look, here's the book. Those who are in my company follow, and there are the books those who came before me followed. What is stressed in all of them is that there is no deity other than him, whereas they have nothing to do with knowledge so that they might know the truth. This is why they turn away from it in aversion. Verse 25. We never sent any messenger before you except that we revealed to him that there is no deity but me, so worship me alone. Verse 26. Yet some say, the All-Merciful has taken to himself a child. All glorified he is, in that he is absolutely above doing such things. Rather those, the angels, whom they regard as God's offspring, are but his honored servants. Verse 27. They speak only what he has spoken to them and allows them to speak, and they act by his command. Verse 28. He knows what lies before them and what lies after them, what lies in their future and in their past, what is known to them and what is hidden from them. And they cannot intercede for any but his believing servants, those with whom he is well pleased, and they themselves quake for reverent awe of him. Verse 29. If any of them were to attempt to say, I am a deity besides him, we would recompense him with hell. Thus do we recompense all such wrongdoers. Verse 30. Do those who disbelieve ever consider that the heavens and the earth were at first one piece, and then we parted them as separate entities, and that we have made every living thing from water? Will they still not come to believe? Verse 31. We have set up firm mountains on the earth, lest it should shake them with its movement. And we have made thereon broad paths, so that they might find their way. Verse 32. And we have established the heaven as a canopy well secured against collapse and the ascension of devils. Yet they turn away from all such signs of truth manifested in the universe. Verse 33. It is he who has created the night and the day and the sun and the moon. Every one of such celestial bodies floats in its orbit. Verse 34. We never granted everlasting life to any human being before you, O messenger. So if you die, will they live forever? Verse 35. Every soul, person, is bound to taste death, and we try you through the bad and the good things of life, by way of testing, so that your real character and rank may reveal itself. In fact, you're on the way to return to us, to finally be brought to our presence. Verse 36. When those who persistently disbelieve see you, they make you but a target of mockery, saying to each other, is this the one who speaks against your deities? They cannot bear to hear their false deities denied. And yet, it is they themselves who deny the book of the All-Merciful, who has created them and embraces them with mercy, without recognizing this as a crime. Verse 37. Humankind are by nature impatient, as if made of haste. This is why they ask derisively, when the punishment with which they are threatened will come. I will soon show you the truth of my threats, so do not ask me to hasten it. Verse 38. But they insistently ask, after all, when will this threat be fulfilled? Answer us, O you who believe in it, if you are people of truth. Verse 39. If only those who persistently disbelieve knew the time when they will be unable to ward off the fire from their faces and from their backs, and they will never be helped against it. Verse 40. But it will come upon them all of a sudden and dumbfound them. They will not be able to avert it, nor will they be given respite to escape it. Verse 41. Indeed, messengers were mocked before you, O Muhammad. But the very thing, because of which the people used to mock them, overwhelmed those who scoffed at the messengers to humiliate them. Verse 42. Say, who could protect you by night and day from the All-Merciful if he wills to punish you? And yet, they turn away from the book of their Lord in aversion. Verse 43. Or do they really have deities apart from us to defend them? They, those alleged deities, are not even able to help themselves, nor can they get any help and friendship from us. Verse 44. The truth is that we have provided for those polytheist sinners and their forefathers to enjoy life, so that they have lived for a long time in ease and safety. This is why they think that they will live forever in prosperity. Whereas, do they not see how we deal with the earth, reducing it of its outlying parts? So, can they really be the victors? Verse 45. Say, I warn you only on the strength of the revelation, in which there is no doubt. But the deaf do not hear the call, however much they are warned. Verse 46. And yet, if but a breath of your Lord's punishment touches them, they are sure to cry, Oh, woe to us! We were indeed wrongdoers. Verse 47. We will set up balances of absolute justice on the day of resurrection, and no person will be wronged in the least. Even though it be a deed so much as the weight of a grain of mustard seed, we will bring it forth to be weighed. We suffice as reckoners. Verse 48. We granted Moses and Aaron the criterion, the book distinguishing between truth and falsehood, and made it a guiding light and reminder for the God-revering pious. Verse 49. They stand in great awe of their Lord, though unseen and beyond their perception, and tremble with the thought of the last hour. Verse 50. And this one, the Qur'an, too, is a reminder full of blessings which we are sending down. Will you then reject it? Verse 51. Indeed, we had before this granted Abraham discretion and his particular consciousness of truth, and we knew him very well in all aspects of his character. Verse 52. He said to his father and people, What are these images to which you pay such sincere devotion? Verse 53. They said, We have found our forefathers worshipping them. Verse 54. So, it is certain that, said he, both of you, you and your forefathers, have been in obvious error. Verse 55. They asked, Is it the truth that you are proclaiming to us, or are you jesting? Verse 56. He answered, No, but your Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. Who has originated them, each with particular features, and I am one to bear witness to this truth. Verse 57. And he made a decision. By God, I will most certainly devise a plan against your idols as soon as you have turned your backs and gone away. Verse 58. And then he broke all of them to pieces, except the one biggest in their sight, so that they might be able to turn back to it to ask what had happened. Verse 59. Who has done all this to our deities? They exclaimed. Indeed, he is one of the worst wrongdoers. Verse 60. Some said, We heard a young man make mention of them who is called Abraham. Verse 61. They said, Then bring him before the people's eyes, so that they may bear witness against him. Verse 62. Abraham, they asked, is it you who has done this to our deities? Verse 63. He answered, rather, some doer must have done it. This is the biggest of them. Ask them if they are able to speak. Verse 64. So they turned to their conscious nature, which awoke to truth, and said among themselves, we, it is we, who are the wrongdoers. Verse 65. But afterwards, under the influence of the same factors causing them to disbelieve, they relapsed into their former way of believing and said to Abraham, you know very well that these images cannot speak. Verse 66. Abraham said, then, do you worship instead of God, that which cannot benefit you in any way, nor harm you? Verse 67. Shame on you and on all that you worship instead of God. Will you not reason and understand? Verse 68. They exclaimed, burn him and so protect your deities, if you really mean to do something. Verse 69. O fire, we ordered, be cool and peaceful for Abraham. Verse 70. They had schemed to destroy him, but we frustrated them, making them the worst of losers. Verse 71. We saved him and Lot, who believed in him, guiding them to the land of Damascus, including Palestine, in which we have produced many blessings for all peoples. Verse 72. We bestowed upon him Isaac, and as an additional gift, Jacob, for grandson, and each we made righteous. Verse 73. And we made them leaders, guiding people by our command, and we revealed to them to do good deeds, and to establish the prayer in conformity with its conditions, and pay the prescribed purifying alms. They were our servants, devoted to worshiping us with all sincerity. Verse 74. And Lot, too, we made a leader, to whom we granted sound, wise judgment, and revealed knowledge, and we saved him from the people of the land who were given to deeds of corruption. Truly, they were a wicked people, lost in transgression. Verse 75. We embraced him in our mercy. Surely he was among the righteous. Verse 76. And Noah, too. He had called out to us long before, Abraham, and we answered his prayer and saved him and those of his family and people who believed in him from the tremendous distress. Verse 77. We helped him to safety from the people who denied our revelations. Truly, they were a wicked people, so we caused them all to drown. Verse 78. Among those whom we made leaders were David and Solomon. The two were once judging a case regarding a field into which the sheep of some other people had strayed at night. We were watching and witnessing their judgment. Verse 79. We made Solomon understand the case more clearly. We granted each of them sound, wise judgment and knowledge, pertaining to the mission and in accordance with the time and conditions of each. And we subdued the mountains, as well as birds, to glorify us along with David. It is we who do all these things. Verse 80. And we taught him the art of making iron coats of mail, so that they might fortify you from the violence of war. So, are you really people who are thankful? Verse 81. And in Solomon's service we put the stormy wind, running at his command to carry him to the land in which we have produced blessings for people. We have full knowledge of everything, with their true nature and all their aspects. Verse 82. And of the jinn and Satans, devils, were some who dived for him to extract precious stones from the sea, and did other works besides, and we were keeping watch over them, to prevent them from disobeying him. Verse 83, and mention Job, among those whom we made leaders. He called out to his Lord, saying, Truly, affliction has visited me, so that I can no longer worship you as I must, and you are the most merciful of the merciful. Verse 84. We answered his prayer and removed all the afflictions from which he suffered, and restored to him his household and the like thereof, along with them as a mercy from us, and as a reminder to those devoted to our worship. Verse 85. Mention also Ishmael, Idris, and Dul-Kifl among the leaders. All were men of fortitude and patience. Verse 86. We embraced them in our mercy. They were among the people of utmost righteousness. Verse 87. And also mention Dun-Nun, Jonah. He departed in anger from his people, who persistently disbelieved and paid no attention to his warnings, and he was certain that we would never straighten his life for him. But eventually he called out in the veils of darkness, formed of the belly of the fish, the sea, and dark, rainy night. There is no deity but you. All glorified you are, in that you are absolutely above having any defect. Surely, I have been one of the wrongdoers who have wronged themselves. Verse 88. We answered his call too, and we saved him from distress. Thus do we save the believers. Verse 89. Mention also Zechariah. Once he called out to his Lord, saying, My Lord, do not let me leave the world without an heir, for you are the best of the inheritors. Verse 90. We answered his call too, and bestowed upon him John, and cured his wife for him, so she was able to bear a child. Truly, these three used to hasten to do good deeds, as if competing with each other, and invoke us in hopeful yearning and fearful anxiety. And they were utterly humble before us. Verse 91. And mention that blessed woman who set the best example in guarding her chastity. We breathed into her out of our spirit, and we made her and her son a miraculous sign of our power and matchless way of doing things for all the worlds. Verse 92. So, this community of yours, which all the messengers and their followers have formed, is one single community of the same faith, and I am your Lord, who creates, sustains, and protects you. So, worship me alone. Verse 93. But people have broken up and differed among themselves as regards the religion. But they are all bound to return to us to account for all that they did. Verse 94. Whoever does any deed of good and righteousness, being a true believer, his endeavor will not be left unrewarded in ingratitude. We are keeping the record of every good deed of his in his favor, without the least being neglected. Verse 95. It is inconceivable that a community, the destruction of which we have decreed because of their unbelief and irremediable sins, could return to faith, nor a community which we destroyed should not come back to us and then be returned to the world again, so that they could believe and do good deeds. Verse 96. Eventually, a day will come when Gog and Magog will be let loose, and they will rush down from every mound. Verse 97. And the true promise of the last hour has been close at hand. And look, the eyes of those who stubbornly disbelieve stare in horror fixedly, exclaiming, Woe to us! Indeed, we have lived in heedlessness and forgetfulness of this. Ah, we truly have been wrongdoers, who have most of all wronged our own selves. Verse 98. You and all the things you deify and worship apart from God are but firewood for hell. You are bound to arrive in it. Verse 99. If those false objects of their worship had truly been gods, they would not arrive in it. Every one of them will abide therein. Verse 100. Moaning will be their lot in it, and, nothing to their benefit, will they be able to hear therein, as a recompense for their willful deafness to the divine revelation in the world. Verse 101. But, as for those for whom the decree of ultimate good has already gone forth from us, they will be kept away from it. Hell. Verse 102. They will not even hear the slightest sound of it, and they will abide in that which their souls desire, enjoying it to the full. Verse 103. Even the greatest shock of the second blowing of the trumpet will not cause them any worry, and the angels welcome them with the greeting, "This is your day, the day which you were promised." Verse 104. The day when we will roll up heaven as written scrolls are rolled up. We will bring the creation back into existence as easily as we originated it in the first instance. This is a binding promise on us, and assuredly, we fulfill whatever we promise. Verse 105. We recorded in the Supreme Preserved Tablet and then wrote down in the Psalms after the Torah that my righteous servants will inherit the earth. Verse 106. Surely in this Qur'an, there is the explanation of every truth necessary for God's servants devoted to worshiping Him. Verse 107. We have not sent you, O Muhammad, but as an unequaled mercy for all the worlds. Verse 108. Say, it is revealed to me that your God is the one and only God. Will you then become Muslims, those wholly submitted to Him? Verse 109. If they still turn away, say, I have conveyed to you all that I must convey, and warned you all alike. But I do not know if that with which you are threatened, whether it be the destruction or the last judgment, is near or far. Verse 110. Truly, He knows all that is spoken openly, just as He knows all that you keep concealed, including your secret intentions. Verse 111. I do not know, but the respite given to you may be a trial for you, a respite so that you may fully display your deserving His punishment, an enjoyment for a while. Verse 112. The messenger said, in conclusion, My Lord, judge between me and those unbelievers with truth, and allow the truth to be fully manifested. Our Lord is the all-merciful, the one whose help is ever sought against all that you falsely attribute to Him and me. Surah 22, Al-Hajj, the Pilgrimage, verse 1. O humankind, keep from disobedience to your Lord in reverence for Him and piety, and get under His protection. Never forget that. The violent convulsion of the last hour is an awesome thing. Verse 2. On the day when you all see it, every suckling mother will utterly forsake her infant in dread, and every pregnant female will cast off her burden. You will see all people as if gone out of their senses, while, in fact, they are in their senses. This is because God's punishment is extremely severe. Verse 3. Among people there are such as dispute about God without any true knowledge, and follow every corrupt, rebellious, and mischievous Satan. Verse 4. It is decreed about him, Satan, that whoever takes him for a guardian, surely he leads him astray, and guides him to the punishment of the blaze. Verse 5. O humankind, if you are in doubt about the resurrection, consider that. We created you from earth in the beginning, while there was nothing of your existence as humankind, and the material origin of every one of you is also earth. Then we have created you from a drop of seminal fluid, then from a clot clinging to the womb wall, then from a lump in part shaped and in part not shaped, and differentiated and undifferentiated, and so do we clarify for you the reality of the resurrection. And we cause what we will to come into the world, to rest in the wombs for an appointed term. Then we bring you out as dependent infants. Then we provide what is necessary and appropriate so that you may attain your age of full strength. Among you some are caused to die during this period of growth and afterwards, and some are kept back to the most miserable state of old age, ceasing to know anything after once having known some things. As another proof for the resurrection and a sign to comprehend it, you see earth dry and lifeless, and suddenly, when we send down the known blessed water on it, it stirs and swells and grows every pleasant pair of vegetation. Verse 6. And so, God is He who is the absolute truth and ever constant, and He gives life to the dead, and He has full power over everything. Verse 7. And the last hour is sure to come, there is no doubt about it. And God will surely raise up all who are in the graves. Verse 8. And yet, among people there are some who dispute about God without having any true knowledge or any true guidance or an enlightening divine book. Verse 9. They keep on disputing arrogantly to lead people astray from God's way. For such there is disgrace in the world, and on the day of resurrection we will cause them to taste the punishment of the scorching fire. Verse 10. This punishment is the outcome of what you have committed and forwarded with your own hands, and never does God do the least wrong to His servants. Verse 11. Among people are also many a one who worships God on the borderline of faith, in expectation of only worldly gains. If any good befalls him, he is satisfied with it. But if a trial afflicts him, he turns away utterly, reverting back to unbelief. He, thereby, incurs loss of both this world and the hereafter. This indeed is the obvious loss. Verse 12. He invokes, apart from God, that which can neither harm nor benefit him. That indeed is straying very far away. Verse 13. He even invokes the being that is far more likely to cause harm than benefit. What evil a patron, and what evil an associate. Verse 14. Surely God will admit those who believe and do good, righteous deeds into the gardens, through which rivers flow. Surely God does whatever He wills. Verse 15. Whoever thinks that God will not help the messenger to victory in the world and to utmost prosperity in the hereafter, then let him move heaven and earth to prevent His help. Let him stretch out a rope to heaven to prevent God's help and revelation from reaching him, and then sever that rope to descend without being broken into pieces. Then let him see whether the schemes he makes will be of any avail to him, and, whether he can, do away with what enrages him. Verse 16. It is in the face of such rage and malice that we send down the Qur'an in messages clear in meaning and content, and as manifest signs of the truth. And God guides whomever He wills. Verse 17. Those who truly believe in God and follow Muhammad, and those who have become Jews, and the Sabaeans, and the Christians, and the Magians, and those who associate partners with God, without having any relation with a divinely inspired religion. God will certainly judge between them on the day of resurrection. God is witness over everything. Verse 18. Do you ever consider that all who are in the heavens and all who are on the earth prostrate themselves to God? And so do the sun, the moon, the stars, the mountains, the trees, and the beasts. And so do many among human beings, whereas many others are deservedly condemned to punishment. Whoever God humiliates can have none to give Him honor. Assuredly, God does whatever He wills. Verse 19. These are two opposing groups, those who prostrate to God and those who do not. Though there may be differences of approach within either group, they contend about the truth concerning their Lord. As for those who disbelieve by categorically denying Him, or associating partners with Him in His attributes, or authority as the Lord, garments of fire are certain to be cut out for them, with boiling water being poured down over their heads. Verse 20. With which all that is within their bodies, as well as their skins, is melted away. Verse 21. For them are also goads and maces of iron. Verse 22. Whenever in their anguish they attempt to come out of the fire, they will be returned into it and told, "Taste the punishment of the scorching fire." Verse 23. On the other hand, God will admit those who believe and do good, righteous deeds into the gardens, through which rivers flow, adorned therein with armbands of gold and pearls, and their garments therein will be of silk. Verse 24. They have been guided to believe in and declare the purest of words, and they have been guided to the path of the all-praiseworthy one, saying and doing only what is praiseworthy. Verse 25. Those who disbelieve and bar others from God's way, and the believers from visiting the sacred mosque, which we have set up as a place of worship for all believing people alike, both for those who dwell therein in Makkah and for those who come from abroad, whoever seeks a deviation from the right course therein by deliberate wrongdoing, we cause him to taste a painful punishment. Verse 26. Remember when we assigned to Abraham the site of the house, Kaaba, as a place of worship, directing him, "Do not associate any partners with me in any way, and keep my house pure from any material and spiritual filth for those who will go round it in devotion, and those who will stand in prayer before it, and those who will bow down and prostrate themselves in worship." Verse 27. Publicly proclaim the duty of pilgrimage for all humankind, that they come to you on foot and on lean camels, coming from every faraway point. Verse 28. So that they may witness all the spiritual, social, and economic benefits in store for them, and offer during the known, appointed days the sacrificial cattle that he has provided for them by pronouncing God's name over them. Eat of their meat and feed the distressed, the poor. Verse 29. Thereafter let them tidy themselves up by having their hair cut, removing their ihram, Hajj attire, taking a bath, and clipping their nails, etc., and fulfill the vows, if they have made any, and complete other acts of the pilgrimage, and go round the most ancient, honorable house in devotion. Verse 30. All that is what God ordained concerning the Hajj. So whoever venerates God's sanctities will find it to be the best for him in his Lord's sight. Cattle have been made lawful for you, for sacrifice and food, except what has already been mentioned to you as unlawful. So shun the loathsome evil of idol worship, and shun all words of falsehood. Never say or consider or legislate anything contrary to revealed commandments concerning the lawful and the unlawful. Verse 31. Being believers of pure faith in God, without associating any partners with him. Whoever associates any partners with God, it is as if he fell down from heaven, and thereupon the wild birds of prey snatch him away, or the wind blows him away into a distant, abysmal ditch, causing him to be shattered into pieces. Verse 32. That is the truth itself. And whoever venerates the public symbols and rituals set up by God, such as Jumu'ah and Eid prayers, call to the prayer, sacrifice, and the rites of the pilgrimage, surely it is because of the true piety and God consciousness of their hearts. Verse 33. There are benefits for you in them. The sacrificial animal's offering of which in God's cause is among Islam's public symbols and rituals, until the appointed term of their sacrifice. Then, their being carried for sacrifice during the Hajj ends in the sacred precincts of the most ancient, honorable house. Verse 34. For every believing community, we have laid down sacrifice as an act of worship to be performed at a certain time and place. So, they must pronounce God's name over what we have provided for them of cattle while offering it. And bear in mind that Your God is the one and only God. So to him alone, submit yourselves wholly, and give glad tidings to the deeply devoted humble servants. Verse 35. Those whose hearts tremble with awe whenever God is mentioned, who are always patient with whatever ill befalls them, who always establish the prayer in conformity with its conditions, and who spend, in God's cause and for the needy, out of whatever we provide for them. Verse 36. And the cattle, including especially the camels, we have appointed their sacrifice as among the public symbols and rituals set up by God for you, in which there's much good for you. When they, the camels, are lined up in standing position for sacrifice, pronounce God's name over them. When they fall down on their sides and fully die ready to be eaten, eat of their meat and feed the poor, such as beg not but, live in contentment, and such as beg with due humility. It is for the purposes and benefits mentioned, and based on the principles mentioned, that we have put the sacrificial animals in your service, so that you may give thanks to God. Verse 37. Bear in mind that neither their flesh nor their blood reaches God, but only piety and consciousness of God reach him from you. It is for the purposes and benefits mentioned, and based on the principles mentioned, that we have put them in your service so that you must exalt God, because he has guided you to correct belief and worship and obedience to him. Give glad tidings to those devoted to doing good, aware that God is seeing them. Verse 38. Surely God defends strongly those who believe. Certainly God does not love any treacherous, ungrateful one. Verse 39. The believers against whom war is waged are given permission to fight in response, for they have been wronged. Surely God has full power to help them to victory. Verse 40. Those who have been driven from their homeland against all right, for no other reason than that they say, Our Lord is God. Were it not for God's repelling some people by means of others, monasteries and churches and synagogues and mosques, where God is regularly worshipped and his name is much mentioned, would surely have been pulled down, with the result that God is no longer worshipped and the earth becomes uninhabitable. God most certainly helps whoever helps his cause. Surely God is all strong, all glorious, with irresistible might. Verse 41. They are the believers who, if we give them authority on earth, without doubt establish the prayer in conformity with its conditions, pay the prescribed purifying alms fully, and enjoin and promote what is right and good and forbid, and try to prevent the evil. With God rests the outcome for all matters. Verse 42. If they are denying you, O messenger, you know that, before them the people of Noah, the Ad, and the Thamud also denied the messenger sent to each. Verse 43. And so too did the people of Abraham and the people of Lot. Verse 44. And the dwellers of Midian, and Moses too was denied by the Pharaoh and his clan. Every time I granted respite to the unbelievers and then seized them when they persisted in unbelief and injustices, how awesome was my disowning them. Verse 45. How many a township have we destroyed because it was given up to wrongdoing? So they all lie in ruins, with their roofs caved in, wells and fountains deserted, and towering lofty castles collapsed. Verse 46. Do they never travel about the earth and view all these scenes with an eye to learn lessons, so that they may have hearts with which to reason and arrive at truth, or ears with which to hear God's call? For indeed it is not the eyes that have become blind, it is rather the hearts and the breasts that are blind. Verse 47. They challenge you to hasten the coming upon them of God's punishment, with which they are threatened. Let them know that God never fails to fulfill his promise. but a day with your Lord is like 1,000 years in your reckoning. Verse 48. Let them not hasten you to bring on them our punishment. How many a township that was given up to wrongdoing have I given respite to, but then seized them, when they persisted in unbelief and injustices, and to me is the homecoming. Verse 49. Say, O messenger, O people, I am not a man who can do whatever he wills, nor whatever you wish. I am only a plain warner sent to you. Verse 50. So those who believe and do good, righteous deeds, for them is a forgiveness to bring unforeseen blessings, and an honorable, generous provision in the hereafter. Verse 51. As to those who strive against our revelations, seeking to frustrate and void them, they are the companions of the blazing flame. Verse 52. Never did we send a messenger or a prophet before you, but that when he recited God's revelations to the people, Satan would make insinuations about these revelations, prompting people to misconstrue them in many wrong senses, rather than the right one. But God abrogates whatever insinuations Satan may make, and then he confirms and establishes his revelations. God is all-knowing, all-wise. Verse 53. He makes Satan's insinuations a trial for those in the center of whose hearts there is a sickness that extinguishes their power of understanding and corrupts their character, and who have hardened hearts. The wrongdoers have certainly veered far from the truth and are in wide schism. Verse 54. While those who have been granted knowledge of the truth know with a greater certainty that whatever God reveals is the truth itself, and they believe in it, and their hearts submit to him in utmost humility. God most certainly guides to a straight path those who believe with sincerity. Verse 55. Whereas those who persistently disbelieve will not cease to be in doubt about it, the revelation, until the last hour comes upon them suddenly, or there comes to them the punishment of a barren day, when every hope would turn into despair, and after which there will be no night to rest in. Verse 56. On that day, the absolute authority belongs to God exclusively. He judges all people and makes a distinction between them. Consequently, those who believe and do good, righteous deeds will be in gardens of bounty and blessings. Verse 57. As for those who disbelieve and deny our revelations, for them there will be a shameful, humiliating punishment. Verse 58. Those who emigrate in God's cause and then are killed for God's cause or die, God will most certainly provide for them with a good, wholesome sustenance. Surely God is He who is the best to be sought as provider, with the ultimate rank of providing. Verse 59. He will most certainly admit them into a place with which they will be pleased. Surely God is all-knowing, all-clement. Verse 60. So it will be. And whoever responds to the wrong done to him to the extent of the wrong, and then is again subjected to oppression, God will most certainly help him. Assuredly, God is all-pardoning, who overlooks the faults of his servants, all-forgiving. Verse 61. So, will he do? Because God makes the night pass into the day, and makes the day pass into the night. And God is all-hearing, all-seeing. Verse 62. So, will he do? Because God is he who is the absolute truth, and all that they, the unbelievers, deify and invoke, instead of or apart from him, is sheer falsehood. And God is he who is the all-exalted, the all-great. Verse 63. Do you not consider that God sends down from the sky water, and behold, the earth turns green? Surely God is all-subtle, penetrating to the most minute dimensions of all things, and accomplishing what he wills by ways that are not quite tangible. All aware. Verse 64. To him belongs all that is in the heavens, and all that is on the earth. And surely God is he who is the all-wealthy and self-sufficient, absolutely independent of the whole creation, the all-praiseworthy, who provides for all of them as their Lord. Verse 65. Do you not consider that God has made all that is on earth to be of service to you, and the ships that run upon the sea by his command? And he holds the heaven, so that it may not fall upon the earth, unless by his leave. Surely God is for humankind all-pitying, all-compassionate. Verse 66. It is he who has given you life, then he causes you to die. Then he will bring you to life again. However, humankind are really ungrateful. Verse 67. For every community, we have appointed a whole system of worship, which they are to observe. So do not let those who follow their own systems draw you into disputes concerning this matter, but continue to call people to your Lord. You are most certainly on the straight way, leading to pure guidance. Verse 68. If they argue with you, say only, God knows well what you are doing. To me are accounted my deeds, and to you your deeds. You are quit of all that I do, and I am quit of all that you do. Verse 69. God will judge between you on the day of resurrection concerning what you used to differ on. Verse 70. Do you not know that surely God knows whatever there is in the heavens and on the earth, including whatever takes place in them? They are all recorded in a book. This, keeping the record of them all, is indeed easy for God. Verse 71. And yet they worship apart from God, things for which he has sent down no warrant, nor are they based on true knowledge, when they claim that there can be partners with him. The wrongdoers will have no helper to protect them from God's punishment. Verse 72. When our revelations, clear as evidence and in meaning, are recited and conveyed to them, you perceive utter repugnance and denial on the faces of those who disbelieve. They would almost pounce upon those who convey our revelations to them. Say, then, shall I tell you of something worse than what you now regard as repugnant? The fire. God has promised it to those who disbelieve. How evil a destination to arrive at. Verse 73. O humankind, a parable is struck, so pay heed to it. Those whom, apart from God, you deify and invoke will never be able to create even a fly, even if all of them were to come together to do so. And if a fly snatches away anything from them, they cannot recover that from it. Powerless indeed is the seeker, and so is the sought. Verse 74. They have no true judgment of God as his right in being God requires. God is certainly all-strong, all-glorious, with irresistible might. Verse 75. God chooses messengers from among the angels, as well as from among humankind. So they are all created beings having no share in divinity at all. Surely God is all-hearing, all-seeing. Verse 76. He knows what lies before them and what lies after them, what lies in their future and in their past, what is known to them and what is hidden from them. To God are all affairs ultimately referred, and whatever he wills occurs. Verse 77. O you who believe, bow down and prostrate yourselves, thus performing the prayer, and fulfill all your other duties of worship to your Lord, and do all the other commands of your religion, which are all good, so that you may prosper. Verse 78. Strive in God's cause, and purely for his sake, against his enemies to raise his word, and against Satan and your carnal, evil commanding souls, in a manner worthy of that striving. He has chosen you, especially for this task, and has not laid any hardship on you in the religion. This is the way of your father Abraham. God named you Muslims previously, and in this book, that the most noble messenger may be a witness for you as to the ways you follow, and that you may be the witnesses for people. So establish the prayer in conformity with its conditions, pay the prescribed purifying alms, and hold fast to God. He is your owner and guardian. How excellent a guardian and an owner he is! How excellent a helper